Uh, oh, we're back. Caught me out there. Well, it's me and Susan again, aka Geeks Assemble.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And we're still delving into the pile of weird
Oh,
movies.
so weird. Oh
And
my gosh.
this week's is no different. From 2019, I think this movie is, starring Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe. It's
And
called
that they're basically the only two people in the whole movie.
the whole movie. Yeah, it's called Swiss Army Man. And we'll get around to the title of that because some people may not understand what that means. But it's about a young guy who's about to end his life, stranded on an island. Then he comes across a dead body washed up on the shore, and the dead body actually helps him off the island by its deathly flatulence, skimming across the water, and that's how the movie starts.
Mhm.
So we will go over to Susan now with her opening thoughts on Swiss Army Man.
Okay, I've heard of the question. What would you do? What would if you were trapped on a desert island with only one book? What would it be? If you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, if you only could listen to one song, if you were on a desert island for if you had one iPod or one song stuck in your iPod, and it was go for the rest of your life, what song would that be? This one was if you only had one person in the world who you could be in a desert island with, who would it be? And it's apparently uh, this zombie who was washed up on shore, and the zombie had superpowers. I mean, really, really cool gifts. Yeah, so it was. I mean,
You saw him as a zombie.
yeah.
Mm. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, he was his flatulence was amazing. That was quite a good propellant. It was a good transportation style. The water coming out of his mouth. I mean, it was like he was a drinking fountain or a shower. I mean, he was used as a shower or a drinking fountain or a
You see, you saying things like that, you're making it sound so crazy and unbelievable.
well, um yeah, and then the other thing was this one this one was getting better and getting more lively actually towards the end of the movie, and this one fell in love with the the one that uh Paul Dano's character was stalking. And so, it's great when your zombie friend falls in love with the woman that you're stalking, because then you're both going to end up there anyway, because that's the way these things work. You're always going to end up having to confront that love, that secret love, eventually.
Hmm.
And yeah, so that was real interesting, and the acting was really cool. I really think that Daniel Radcliffe, he does play gothic characters with a lot of you know a lot of supernatural stuff going on around them, like the horns in that one movie, or his powers in Harry Potter or his, you know, connection to the woman in the woman in black in the window, and the other one that, you know, he's pretty well known for those. And then this one is, I mean, he seems like a zombie to me. That's really what I'm coming up with. And I'm going to pass it back to Lee because he's laughing at me now. And I
No,
mean,
no,
that
no, no.
happens a lot in these
I'm
podcasts,
not,
but now I can tell he's got something to say. So
I
go
am not,
ahead, say it.
I am not laughing. What,
Yes,
what,
you are
I,
laughing at me. God
there's a,
damn it.
there's a,
You,
I have got a grin, but I am not laughing. I am not going, ho, 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 ho.
oh, no, you did. You just did it.
Well, what I got out of this movie, it's a movie about loneliness and mental health. Um, because it was a journey across land with this corpse, not a zombie, a corpse, who he befriended and sort of came to life, um, which he never was. It was all in Paul Dano's head.
Okay. You could
Because
interpret it that way.
because when once you realise at the end of the movie, the journey they took, falling down that thing into the pit, making up this cat bus and all like that, it was along the way journey. They did this as they went along, walking. But when the police arrived, they found all those things in one place in the woods. He was, in my interpretation, Dano was playing make believe in the woods, but had been stalking that woman.
Yes.
So where the corpse comes from, did he find it on the beach? Who knows? But in his head, Manny came to life. This is what I make out of it. He came to life, and Paul Dano's character was imagining all this stuff that was going on. Oh, you're looking perplexed now.
Well, I just don't. I don't think that. You know, yes, it looked like it was a long way. Like the journey that he was taking was a long way, and yes, you see that is way foreshortened at the last scenes once you're with the police and everything. But the travel from the island to the mainland.
In my opinion, I don't think he was ever stranded on an island. That was just in his head.
Okay.
He was he was make he was a lonely guy. He wanted a friend. He had mental problems. Stalking this young woman because all the pictures on his phone and they discussed on his father's face. Um, that's what I got out of it. He made everything up in his head. I could be wrong, but I didn't take it. I didn't take it that Daniel Radcliffe was a zombie. He was a dead body,
Okay.
which was getting stiffer and stiffer as he went along,
So to speak.
so to speak. Yeah,
Ha ha
that's
ha. So to speak. See, that was the thing that was like, um, you know, that's why I thought he was a zombie because of his erection. You know, I know that sometimes they claim that people have an erection right after they pass away. but it subsides. It actually subsides in like within the 20 minutes after they pass away.
Yeah.
The difficult thing about this is that he kept passing away and then coming back to life. That's what I don't think he was I don't think he was a full on corpse.
Well, if you take it as everything what happened where Manny was, uh, never happened in reality. It was all his in his head.
Oh,
He was just playing with a corpse in the forest
oh,
and making it all up in his head.
oh.
And when you start thinking it that way, it is a dark movie. I mean, it's called Swiss Army
Excuse me,
Swiss
pardon me.
Army Man because that's a play on the words of a Swiss Army knife, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, the other form of Swiss Army are the ones who guard the Pope in Rome, right?
Yeah. Well, the Swiss Army knife is the one where it's got everything, tools, everything in the knife, and that's what Manny was because he could do anything, apparently in his head,
Yeah.
uh, in Hank's head. But that's what I thought. I thought he was just in the forest having problems, found a corpse, and made him come to life in his head. And
Huh.
everything you see where they're talking, it's not really happening. But you see, I've gone deep in this thinking about this movie.
Yeah, you have, and the only way that that would make sense is if he would have built a shelter on
Mhm.
the first island on the island, but he hadn't really built anything yet.
Mm.
So I mean, like that's the reason that I think that that it wasn't it like it kind of was happening somewhat according to I don't know. I no it's just now I'm sad because that makes Hank way sadder character. Oh
Very
my
yeah.
gosh, just like takes all that little bit of I'm a best friend of a zombie, which was like what I was thinking all along. I was just like, oh, cool. I have a best friend who's a zombie. Well, like that's great, you know. I also watch What We Do in the Shadows, and all those guys are best friends with vampires, right? Right. Anyway,
But yeah,
or not, you know. It depends on which perspective you want to look at it from. But that's what I was thinking. It was happier in that way, but now it's oh, that's a that's a really brutal movie then.
I mean, it's like if you noticed near the end where the one of the is it the cameraman when they're doing the things says to him, "Don't I know you?" So he, as far as I remember, he ran away, didn't he, Hank? He ran away because he said that to Manny. I ran away. What did he run away from? Uh, so for me, yeah, he
Do you think that Hank killed Manny?
well because he did turn around when he was handcuffed and says, "Yes, I did it." So,
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
it comes across as a light-hearted comedy sort of movie, but when you start thinking into it, it's very dark,
It's very sad.
sad. So if
Very
you turn
sad.
very a lonely man, make, for me, making things up, making a friend up in his head, who's just sat there rotting away, um, which is but great acting.
Yeah,
As you said, there's the two main actors in this are Dano and Radcliffe, and just when they're on screen together, you just can't take your eyes off
I
because you
know
think,
it's
you know. But so any favorite moments for this then for you?
just like all the flatulent jokes, the flatulent persons are great, and like the um using the his cock as a compass, that was hilarious.
You see, this is it. You, when you start thinking about it, you think, yeah, that didn't happen.
Whatever.
But he was, but Hank was obsessed with the woman on the phone. He
Yes,
would he was following her, spying on her when he was on the bus. So maybe he or his father got wind of it. So maybe this is why he ran away. Who knows? But yeah, in my head, in my opinion, most of the stuff what you see on screen never happened. Only in his head. But great acting from both of them, and the soundtrack as well. So upbeat.
yeah, that's another thing. It's like with your take on it, why would the soundtrack be so happy?
Well, because I think this is the way what the makers of the movie wanted it to be, for you to figure out what was going on.
Mm.
The what's the oh, it's directed by Daniel, the two Daniels. Uh, but yeah, it's a. I don't think many people know about this movie, but it's a little gem. It's a strange friendship movie.
Yeah,
I mean, because when you think about it, there was no explanation why he was on an island to begin with,
right.
and then all of a sudden his body sort of crops up, and then all of a sudden he's speeding across the water, and
Yep.
all of a sudden then he wakes up on another beach. So yeah, it's yeah. I think he had mental problems. Did Hank? But a good movie.
Yeah.
Anything, anything else you'd like to say about Swiss Army Man?
Um, I love it when they're writing down on the piece of plastic all the way down the ravine, the gully. That was so fun.
Yeah,
I mean, like these narrow escapes that they had, always just in the nick of time.
which makes
And
which makes me believe even more that it was all a fantasy.
yeah, the other thing that was pretty nifty was the scene with when they're in the bus and he's showing him how to like introduce yourself, and like that was so precious. Oh my gosh.
It was touch, touching in a way, touching in places. But it does come. Hank does come across as a quite lonely person, and he sort of takes in Manny as his best friend. You know, I mean, we never really found out who Manny is,
Oh,
because you know was he was he a body washed up on the beach, or did Hank have something to do with his demise? You know,
or
but
is he a zombie? Come
it's,
on, come on, Lee.
There is
Make it a
no
little happier for me.
there is no mention on the back about zombies, and on the Wikipedia page
Doesn't have to
it
mention
doesn't
it.
say anything about a zombie. It just says a corpse. But it's make up your own mind what really happened.
Is that what it says?
I think that's what one of the directors said in an interview.
Oh, all right. Well, I've made up my mind.
Oh dear. So, anything else you'd like to say, or should we move on to
Oh,
fantasy?
Daniel Radcliffe gets to show his bum a lot.
Oh dear me. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. It's let's see other stuff. Uh, um, it looks like Hank is Hank actually has enough stuff in all those little places in the woods there.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's almost like he's been homeless for a while, like he's been kicked out of his father's house.
Yeah, it looks like he's been hanging out in the woods for a while and playing make believe for
Well,
quite a while.
just building a camp.
Yeah.
I mean, that's there's a few homeless camps right along the Mill Creek and the Chelsea Creek here in our part of Massachusetts, and it's like, I mean, it's actually a really historic portion of waterway here, because this is where the first battle of the Revolutionary War took place, and they sunk a ship right over on Chelsea Creek, right around the corner here, and the yeah, there's a few homeless camps around, and you know, you see in a homeless camp people's clothing, little shreds of clothing. You see like ropes. You see people building sort of weird structures. You see them, trying to integrate, some things of beauty or some things of their life into. It's just it can be really really elaborate, or it can be really stark. But I've been to a few, and I also know that you know that unless you're carrying everything around with you on a backpack,
Mm-hmm.
You will eventually end up pushing a pram around, or pushing a wheelchair, or a grocery trolley full of your belongings around, and it'll end up looking like what they have out there on their in their little bus and restaurant and everything.
Yeah. But his camp was so close to the trash hole where they all fell in, because she says the woman walked from the bus that he made to the hole to it was all in one area. So he'd been in that area all the time, but in his head he was traveling all the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
and,
see what you mean.
and he knew because when he was um when he stole Manny's body and he was in the river with it, he was going, oh no 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 no, they'll find it, and they found all his little camp. So yeah, it's amazing movie, but
Yeah,
Swiss
and
Army Man.
it is challenging what we're watching. I mean, I guess in the same way that, you know, Christmas with Bob or whatever, those kind of movies can be
It's,
really challenging and really, have a significance.
I mean, there's another thing here as well. When he got shaved and cut his hair, did he ever have a beard? And was his hair scraggy as that to begin with? Because his hair was neat and tidy, and he was absolutely smooth, clean shaven.
Yeah, but I just consider that because Daniel Manny's teeth were great at shaving.
That's what I mean. it's
I
it,
mean, it
it
was bonkers. Like
it
it
does
was. There
it
was
does
a lot of magic in there. I mean, it
yeah,
wasn't.
magic of the mind.
It wasn't. It wasn't uh fully naturalist, but
Mm.
or naturalistic. But
But I do recommend this movie does warrant a second viewing, and then you sit down, and then you go through it, and then you think, yeah, it most probably is all in his head.
all right, well, I'll try and watch it again.
Yeah, I'm not forcing you to.
No, I know, but I just was like
you
taking
just
your
want
advice.
you just wanted it to be a zombie friend.
I did. It was a little happier that way, but it's now
When it,
very sad.
it turns out he could have killed him. But it did win. What was it? The winner, the Sundance,
Oh, one at Sundance, cool.
the winner Sundance Directing Award. So the
Did
directors
it?
were.
Did it win at Cannes?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Uh,
Anyway, yeah.
oh, let's have a look. Well, it was nominated for quite a few things. Um, won a few in other countries. But, yeah. Right then. So, not got anything else to say about Swiss Army Man. Shall we move on to Fancy Score? Over to you.
Okay. For for the kind of energy that I came into this podcast with, like that feeling that it was a really sort of fun romp. My best friend is a zombie type deal. For that, I'll give it. That was a happier story than this loneliness and mental illness thing that Lee watched. So I will give my original thought like a 9.5, and then for the one I'll give that an 8.5 for the one that the Lee had suggested. And I mean the director has to have their cut, right?
Yeah.
So that's really where it stands with me. And let's see, for all of those reasons, I think I guess I can say a 9 and on an average. Just average the two together.
Right.
9 naked butts propelling you through the water out of 10.
Right. Well, I like a movie what makes you think. It's a movie what up front you think you know and see everything, but once you start reading into what's going on, it's a totally different story. For me, I like those sort of movies, and this is one of them. So Swiss Army Man, for the acting between the two actors, brilliant. Um, I'm going to give it a 10. 10,
Nice.
10 corks up the bottom out of 10. So I enjoyed it. Susan enjoyed it. With different,
There's another package downstairs.
So that's a little review of So before we go, I would like to say thank you, Susan, for joining us. And if you'd like to join us, contact us on all the social medias, which we're on. 18 plus, of course. You've got to have laptop or a PC or a tablet or a mobile phone with a camera and a microphone, and you're in. Just get in touch with us and we'll get you on. So just leave us a comment below on any social media platform you see this video on. And if you'd like to press the bell notification button on the YouTube channel, you'll get notified every time we put a video up. So that's our little review over with. Me and Susan watched 2 different films. Susan watched a zombie movie, and I watched a mass murder movie. No, but hey, it's the way you interpret things.
Mm-hmm.
And Geeks Assembled are interpreted very widely, and well, I can't say what people think of us.
I know. Don't
I won't go. I won't go there. So until next time, guys, please be safe and don't go body surfing.
And if you want to find out what we thought of the Conan, the Tower of the Elephant, that's the other one we did this weekend. So please, yeah, find that video and enjoy that. And yeah, that was for our audio heads portion. Anyway,
I'm never going to speak to Susan again after that.
I don't think so.
No.
Yep.
For now.